Sometimes, just sometimes, it pays to run the risk of criticism. And there are reasons why it's necessary. Editorials, for example, supporting the freedom of expression is just one of those reasons. It's important to call out those who engage in virtuous ethics. Ethics designed to manipulate personal popularity on issues that keeps them in the public eye. What's that saying again? Ego sometimes is a dirty word. Earlier this week, Margaret Court, Australia's greatest female tennis player and the former world number one, found herself embroiled in controversy yet again. This time for being awarded Australia's highest civilian honour, that is the Companion of the Order of Australia. Court is a winner of 24 Grand Slam singles titles, 19 Grand Slam doubles titles and 21 Grand Slam mixed doubles titles. She holds the record for most Grand Slam titles. Think of that. Rod Laver won 11 majors, including all 4 in a calendar year twice. But Court is the only player to achieve such a feat. Her achievements underline why she deserves her OAM. Court's an Australian sporting legend and an outstanding woman, regardless of her views on homosexuality. And as such, as Court's views may well be antiquated, we need to think she isn't advocating hatred, violence or ill will, but more expressing what she sees as clear lines of gender identity and the distinction of the sexes. So, why the attack on Court? Because her values don't align with the virtuous elite hijacking debates and not allowing people to have a voice or exercise their independent beliefs. Now, if that's not enough, it seems to me that the virtuous want Australians to all think the same, eliminating diversity, individuality, or independence of manufactured views that make people like Kerry O'Brien, for example, and Clara Tuck Meng Soo dangerous. For some of Australia's more virtuous, denouncing Court's achievements warrant acts of public petulance to keep themselves relevant, or so it seems to me, rather than actually applauding her achievements. Margaret Court is a worthy recipient of Australia's highest civilian honour. She deserves to actually stand alongside Rod Laver with a Companion of the Order of Australia. But if you listen to Kerry O'Brien, to Meng Soo, to Victoria's Premier Daniel Andrews, and the many others who want an Australia filled with clones, adhering to their moral values, and they paint Margaret Court as the representation of evil. Daniel Andrews' view that Court's opposition to homosexuality should exclude her from receiving the OAM is more about populist politics and vote harvesting than actually holding an opinion of relevance. Court defends her views. She says she's been misrepresented. And whether O'Brien, Meng Soo, Andrews or anyone else who disagrees with Court's views on homosexuality, we need to understand that this is a free country and she has the right to express them. She is free to tell us what she thinks, regardless of whether she's wrong. O'Brien's and Meng Soo's public outcry is more a case of intimidatory bullying, designed to draw a line in the sand of it's us or her. Their public outcry of outrage is, I think, clouded in a false despair. Court can openly have a view of homosexuality and not hate anybody. As she says, she loves gay and transgender people. And isn't loving people far more important than the beliefs that they hold about homosexuality? It's possible to love people and to yet hold differing views about their sexuality. But if you listen to Kerry O'Brien, to Meng Soo and to Daniel Andrews, their logic is really more a case of a dangerous form of social conditioning. Court's honour was for her greatness as a tennis player, and she should have received her OAM well before Rod Laver. Laver's achievements compared to Court's are incomparable. This series of cries of outrage for her to hand back the medal, if you think about it, really is ridiculous. It feeds into a narrative of control by a minority that believes they own the right to condition people to their way of thinking and condemn them publicly if they don't. It's dangerous handing over to an agenda riddled with impending social failure. Court loved representing Australia. There's no doubt about that. She proved it every time she went onto the court. She received an OA for her outreach work. Her OAM was for her tennis, and it was long overdue. Court was all about playing for Australia, failing to recognise her, maligns her integrity and her contribution to Australian sport.